Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. In today's video, I have a very special guest with me, Marcel. So in today's video, we're going to discuss health insurance and more specifically private health insurance in Germany. So let me start with the main question. How much is health insurance in Germany? How much does it cost?
Too much. For most of the people who come here, they heard, I don't know where in the world, but most of the other countries say in Germany the health insurance is free or the health costs are low or whatever. But that's not true. Maybe it was true 40 years ago or something, but now it's not true. So for most people who are coming here and want to live a good life and having a good salary, they have to pay 1,000 euros or more on a monthly basis for the health insurance. Of course, if you are an employee, the employer takes half of it, but that's also 500 euros plus a month just for general health insurance. And I think that's very expensive.
So the general means then you have to have additional coverages, for example, Delta coverage, or if you have a
Yeah.
specific disease, then you'll also have to have that specific coverage as well.
Yeah, you can, of course, you can choose to not have better options or to have more options, but then you have to have copay or you have to pay all by yourself sometimes, and then it adds up, of course. Yeah,
Hmm.
and as you mentioned, going to the dentist is a real problem here because most of the health insurance, if you are in the public system,
Hmm.
they don't cover much, nearly nothing. If you have to have a replacement, if you have to have braces, they nearly cover nothing. And then, yeah, you have to pay it on top of it, of course.
Let's say I'm an expat coming to Germany. What happens if I don't have a health insurance? Is it illegal not to have an health insurance? What
That
happens? Like,
that
can I
question
visit a
is
doctor?
also is also asked so many times. You can't have no insurance here in Germany, so you are forced to have one. If you're coming here and, for example, you have an employer, then he will choose the health system for you if you don't have any idea. So you come here and say, okay, I have no idea what to do. Then he will just say, okay, you have to go to the public system, or maybe he's smart enough and say you can choose in the first 2 months. Then you can decide if you want to go private or want to have the public system, but you have to do it. There's no possibility you don't have any insurance here.
There's no way you can go to the doctor without insurance, or theoretically speaking, you cannot come to Germany without an insurance.
Yeah, you can, but then you are forced as ASAP to have one. And if you go to the doctor, you would have to pay everything by yourself. If you're going, maybe, for example, you go here and after one day you don't have done any paperwork, and then you have to go to the doctor because you have the flu or whatever. Then you go to the doctor, then they will ask, where's your insurance card? So you get a card and then it's
Hmm.
written down what's the insurance company. And then you say, I don't have one. Then either they will say, go away because I don't earn any money, or they will say, you have to pay me first before I will treat you because I don't know if you give me any money in afterwards. And
Hmm.
then, yeah, I don't recommend to not have anything. So I think that's one of the most important things to settle down the topic health insurance, maybe even before you come to Germany.
So let's talk about insurance in Germany, or specifically health insurance. So let's start with the government health insurance. Just tell us a little bit about the government insurance, health insurance. What does it cover, or basically so overview of the health insurance in Germany, specifically the
So
government one.
basically, you have more than two systems here, but mostly for people who are coming abroad, two systems are important because
Mm.
people who are working for the state, they have a different thing,
Okay.
or people who are working for as a fireman or as police officer, then there's a
Hmm.
different option. But for most of the people, they just go to the employer and say, hey, I want to work for you. Then they
Hmm.
get a salary, and then the insurance payment is deducted from your salary. Most important part is, what do you get for this money? Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's a huge problem because there's nothing written down where it stays, okay, you get this or you get that. It's just in the law. Then it's like you don't have to die. And then you can just say, okay, what's in this whole package? Of
Hmm.
course, it's more than just not dying, but the quality of the public system is decreasing over time since 20 years. So you have to pay more and more and more, and you don't get more, you even get less. So for example, the dentist we talked about before,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like when I was a kid, like 5 or 6 years old. I can remember my mom told me that's no problem. That the insurance company will cover all of it. And today I have
Mm-hmm.
my own kids. They are 4 and he will be 5 this year. And I know if I would be in the public system, nothing would be covered. But I have to pay
Okay.
more than 20 years ago. So that's a
Mm.
problem. And also, if you are in the public system, maybe you think, okay, I can just go to the doctor, but that's not the case. So most of the time, even the general doctor, you call them and say, hey, I'm ill, I'm not feeling that well. And they will say, okay, come over, but then you will have to wait hours and hours. And if you
Mm.
have something bigger, like for example, you have something with your heart and you need to go to the cardiologist, then he will say, I don't take new clients or new patients,
Mm.
or they will say, I have an appointment next year.
So you
So
either die now
yeah.
or come next
So of
year.
course, if it's really if it's really in a life or death situation, then you don't call the doctor, you call the ambulance, please, and then they will transport you to the hospital. But lucky, the most cases are not life or death. They are okay. I need to go to the doctor, and then he will give me medicine or whatever or treatment, and that's
Mm-hmm.
a pain, really pain. So most of the people in Germany, they have to have an appointment 6 months in the future and ongoing. And of course, there can be so much thing in between. You can have more pain, or it's getting worse, or whatever. And even then, if you go there, the doctor knows they won't get much money from people who are in the public system, and they just will do it as fast as they can because they need to do as much patients as they can per day. So yeah, the system is really collapsing because it's, maybe to understand it why this is, it's like there's no saving or something. So, or just your personal health insurance. It's the health insurance for all people here in Germany. If you're having high salary, a low salary, if you have no salary, all people are in the same, yeah, big pot,
Bracket. Yeah.
and everyone has to be paid out of this pot. And of course, as everything demographically, we are getting in worse situations. And as soon as someone pays their contribution on a monthly basis, another one will take it out, and then it's not enough. So the German state have to put in more than 25 billion euros per year on top of all the contributions to, yeah, save the system.
The government system, I also have the government health insurance, which is very bad. I have to like get an appointment months in advance, and when I also have an appointment, I have a specific time. I still have to wait an hour or so before
Yes.
the doctor sees me, and the doctor like takes a minute or
And then,
max a minute
but
and a half and says, "Okay, bye." In the like almost
here's your
9 years I've been
painkillers.
here in Germany, the doctor has given me just once a prescription of three tablets, and that's it. Like all of the other times, I have to buy over-the-counter medicine.
Even you have a copay for these prescriptions, so you
Yes.
don't, it's not covered all of it,
Yeah.
but you have to
So
pay
it's
1,000 euros a month on half of it
yeah,
if you're
that's true.
employed.
The government system is not that good. How can one, or before we go to that question, why isn't everyone going to the private health insurance if it's that bad?
That's a good question. There are more than one thing. You can't just decide to go, oh, I want to have the private system. You have to be healthy because there will be a questionnaire about your actual health status. And if you have something like, I don't know, permanent flu, or you had COVID and have treatments ongoing because it's not over
Mhm.
yet, and things like this, or you have allergies, or you have a broken leg or whatever, then either they won't take you, or you have to pay a higher contribution, or you have to wait until it's over and you are fine. So your health status is the main problem, I think, for expats, for examples. And then the second one is you have to have at least 66,670 euros. So it's a cap where you have to have at least a minimum salary, gross salary per year to join the private health system, or you are self-employed. That's also possible. And if you're having not that high salary, or if your health status is not good enough, then you can't join the private health system.
So firstly, you need to be generally healthy.
Yes.
And secondly, there is a price or salary cap that you need to have. So there's 66,000 plus salary, and generally you need to be healthy.
And
let's say if someone is generally healthy, generally above the health insurance salary cap, then what's the benefit?
So there are many benefits, but I think the most beneficial part is, as you described it, having an immediately appointment, don't have any waiting times, even if you have to go to the hospital. And on top of it, you save money if you join early. So of course, if you join if you're 55 and older, then you don't save any money, but you have the beneficial part of the waiting times. But if you are young, you save a lot of money. I can just describe my own situation. So myself, I'm 34 years old. I pay 419 euros or something like this a month. Of course, I don't have an employer, so I have to pay the full amount, but I save approximately 600 euros a month before taxes. And I have immediately appointments. I don't have any waiting times and so on. Yeah, you know it because we had an appointment before and I had to cancel because I had severe lung problems. And I just call the doctor and they say, hey, come over. And then I wait 5 minutes and then I'm in. And they don't have only 1 minute for me. So they really talk to me and say, okay, we have to check all the things and so on. And yeah. So yeah, I think it's the better treatment, faster appointments, and most of the times you can save a lot of money. Not every situation, of course, but most of the times you can also save a lot of money.
So the main thing is you are not bound to a specific company, and you can always compare different options and guide people to the specific option which is better for that specific person, right?
Yeah, we are totally free. So we don't have any preferred insurance company, or we don't have any people who say you have to do this month and the next month we do another company and so on. So we are totally free in this. And most of the time we don't look after prices for us. We look after the prices for the people. So what's really best for you, that's the best option if you go with us.
If anyone wants to contact you, they can contact you with the first link in the description, and first consultation is always free.
Yes, thanks for having me here. And I can just say, let's talk. And if you decide after we talked you don't want to join the private system, it's fine as well. But then you have all the information you need to make a good decision.